Hey, I'm Randy Akers with Georgetown County Parks and Recreation, and welcome to another episode of the Parent's Guide to Video Games. In today's video, we're going to talk about what has quite possibly been the most popular video game over the past several years, Fortnite. Now, it might surprise you to learn that the Fortnite you've heard about in the news is not actually the first version of the game that was released. At its start, Fortnite was imagined as a sort of tower defense / shooter / survival game called Fortnite Save the World. In this game, your character, referred to as a hero or commander, was responsible for, as the title suggests, saving the world. The story of that game is that one day, 98% of the world's population simply vanished, and the world was suddenly terrorized by storm clouds which produced strange zombie-like creatures called husks. The survivors found ways to shield themselves from this storm, and the player's purpose was to help expand these storm shields and return the Earth to its normal state. This version of Fortnite was released in July of 2017, to be followed just 2 months later by the version of the game which you've probably already heard of, Fortnite Battle Royale. In the Battle Royale version of the game, there isn't a set storyline like there is in Save the World. The objective of the Battle Royale version is to be the last player or team standing in a lobby of 100 players. While the survival aspect is definitely the primary aspect of Fortnite Battle Royale, the tower defense aspect does play a major part in this version of the game, as players are encouraged to build their own shelters to protect themselves from attack, or to give themselves time to heal before attacking other players. Now, it's very important to note that the third aspect of Fortnite is that it is a shooter, which means that realistic looking guns and shooting sounds can be found in the game. For this reason alone, some parents may want to limit their younger children's exposure to this game. In fact, the Entertainment Software Rating Board has given Fortnite a rating of teen, which means that it is suitable for ages 13 and up. So if your child is younger than 13, this game may not be suitable for them. That said, there's no gore or blood that is accompanied by the shooting. When a player takes damage, that damage is indicated by a number which pops up over their opponent's head or their own head. When a player is eliminated, their character simply dissolves out of the lobby almost as though they're being beamed up in an episode of Star Trek. There's no real scary visuals that accompany having been eliminated. The player is also not referred to as having been killed, they are referred to as having been eliminated. There are 3 primary game modes to Fortnite. The first is solos, which is for playing alone. The second is duos, which is for playing with one partner. And the third is squads, which is for playing as part of a team of 4. As previously mentioned, the objective of these game modes is to be the last player or team standing out of a lobby of 100 people. There is a 4th mode, called Team Rumble, which is a mode that consists of 2 teams of 20 players each, competing to see which team reaches a certain number of eliminations first. In this mode, the player can be eliminated multiple times without being sent back to the pre-match lobby, making this a good mode for new players to get a feel for how the game works. Finally, let's talk about cost. One of the reasons that Fortnite has become so popular and so ubiquitous over the past few years is that it's free to play. All that's required to play it is a device to play it on and an internet connection. Where the creators of Fortnite have made the majority of their money is through the purchase of in-game cosmetic items known as skins, as well as the sale of seasonal battle passes, which can be purchased for both real-world money and for an in-game currency called V-Bucks. V-Bucks can also be purchased using real-world money. As we discussed with Minecraft yesterday, this is a good opportunity to teach your child about budgeting and saving if you decide to give them an allowance for these types of purchases. However, unlike Minecraft, Fortnite does offer a way to earn V-Bucks without paying for them if you do purchase the Save the World version of the game. Currently, players who own Save the World can complete missions in that game which will reward them with V-Bucks for successful completion. These V-Bucks can then be used to purchase skins or the Battle Pass in the Battle Royale version of the game. Now let's take a look at some gameplay from Fortnite. Alright, so here we are on the menu of Fortnite Battle Royale. As you can see, we've got 3 different modes to select. We have the Battle Royale game mode, which is the most popular game mode. Over here we have Save the World, which is the original version of Fortnite that we talked about earlier in the video. And we also have another mode that I didn't mention earlier called Creative, which is a mode just like Minecraft Creative, where you can basically build and destroy anything you want in the game. Fortnite is one of the few games that does take things that are created by their community and actually put them in the game. So you do have the opportunity, if you make something that's exceptionally cool, to have it featured in this game, which is pretty neat. Alright, and here we are in the pre-game lobby. One thing I want to talk to you about before we get started with playing the actual game is to tell you a little bit about kind of what we talked about yesterday with Minecraft with regards to purchasing of cosmetic items. One thing Fortnite does so much better than any other game, if you want to call it better, is marketing and sale of cosmetic items. So they have a daily item shop which has various skins that you can purchase for V-Bucks, which are purchasable. V-Bucks are purchasable for real-world money, like you see right here. These are the prices that you can buy V-Bucks for. But as you can see, they do have some skins and cosmetic items for sale, some of which are only available for real money since they come with V-Bucks. But this item shop does refresh every day, and it does have sometimes tie-ins with things that are going on in the real world or with corporations. Like, for example, you can see right here, Fortnite is currently doing a promotion with rap star Travis Scott, and they're selling content related to him in this game. They also, this season, have a promotion going on with Marvel, which is, of course, owned by Disney, where there is a skin of the comic book character Deadpool, which you can get as part of the seasonal battle pass. They did also recently sell some skins that were based off of X-Men characters, so it's just one thing to be aware of, that Fortnite is sometimes used as a marketing tool to sell a promotional tie-in with a corporation or a musical artist or things like that. So when we talked about talking to your child about being able to budget appropriately, these are some of the things you need to be aware of, that sometimes there will be these quote-unquote special items that'll pop up in the item shop, and your child might feel like they need to have that item because there's a perceived rarity to it or something like that. Just make sure you talk to your child, and if you do decide to allot them an allowance for purchasing cosmetic items in this game, make sure they understand that they need to budget their money carefully, and that they don't need to just buy every single thing that comes into the item shop. We're going to go ahead and try a solo match today and see what happens. Alright, so here we are on the spawn island of Fortnite Battle Royale, and what this is basically like a pre-game waiting area. All the players that are going to be in this game will be here on this island, and there'll be a set amount of time before the battle bus will launch and take us over to the main island to play the game. So it's about to take us over there. As you can see, there's people over here dancing. Emotes is what they're doing. Those are a big part of this game. So those are for sale in the item shop, or they can be earned through special events and things like that. We are going to go ahead and jump off of the battle bus and come right over here to this snowy mountain area, just to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like to jump out of the bus, and then we'll hopefully be able to go through the way some of the guns in the game will sound, because again, as I mentioned earlier, there are realistic looking and sounding guns in this game, so that is possibly going to be a deterrent for some parents. They may not want their child to have access to this game because of that. Alright, so we have a few weapons here. We're going to shoot those off so you can get an idea of what they sound like. There's several different types of weapons in the game. You have shotguns, pistols, submachine guns, assault rifles, things like that. So this is what a shotgun will sound like. It's pretty loud. You've got an assault rifle. You got a submachine gun. And then you've got a pistol. Now there are other weapons in the game that we don't currently have. There's some non-realistic looking weapons in the game, so it's not all guns and gunplay. There's something called a grappler in the game, which is kind of like a grappling gun. There are decoy grenades, which will spawn identical copies of your character to assist you when fighting other players. So there's also this, a harpoon gun, which will assist you in fishing. Fishing is an aspect of this game. You can fish to gain healing items, or possibly better weapons than what you have. So there's all sorts of things in this game. It's not just guns, but the guns are obviously a major part of the game. So that's why we mentioned earlier that some parents may not want their children to have access to this game, but specifically because there are guns in it. Alright, so as you can see, I am pretty far outside the safe zone. I've opened up my map here to show you where the safe zone is, and I'm very far outside of that. So I need to get to that because if you look in the top right-hand corner of the screen right now, there's a smaller version of the map with a countdown timer underneath it. And that means that the storm is going to close in, and the storm can hurt me as a player. Before we head over there, though, we're going to take some shield potions and use those because those will give us additional protection against other players. And as I open up the map here, you can see that the circle is very slowly closing in over here on the sides. So I need to be inside this white circle by the time the purple circle is completely closed, or else I will start to take damage. And another major aspect of the game is building. So you could probably have seen me, as I've been going along, harvesting these materials that are on the ground, such as rocks, trees, or if we come over here to this truck, I can also harvest this truck for materials. The reason I'm harvesting these materials is because I can use it to build structures. So for example, we're going to build a quick wall over here, just to show you what a wall looks like. You've also got a floor that you can build, and you can also build a ramp. The last thing you can build is a roof, which we'll put over our head here. Building is a major part of this game. It's almost as important as the gunplay. You can protect yourself from attack, so if I completely enclose myself here, I'll be a little bit more protected from attack than I normally would if I was just standing out in the open. It can also provide you an opportunity to, if you edit your builds, you can kind of see what's around, you can come back, edit them back, and get back into your hiding space. You can also just kind of use it as a way to relax for just a second, kind of reassess. If you need to heal, you can do that. Protect yourself from attack. Those are the main reasons that you want to build in this game. So the game is also not entirely made up of real players. There are also bots in the game which are not controlled by actual people. They're controlled by the computer. So this is a bot right here. So he's having trouble really trying to hit us. We took him out pretty easily because Fortnite is very interested in making itself accessible to new players. Alright, looks like we might have another bot over here. I believe we do. So we're going to go ahead and engage him. And that's essentially what eliminating another player looks like. As you can see in the top left of the screen, it's telling me I've completed challenges by eliminating, not killing players. The game does take great care to make it clear that you're not killing or murdering anybody, you've only eliminated them. Alright, so as you can see, our safe zone gets ever smaller throughout the course of the game. It's pretty much the whole point of the game is as the player count decreases and as the game goes on, you're going to be forced into a smaller and smaller space to have to fight one another. So if you look under my map on the top right hand corner of the screen, you'll see that there's 6 total players left in this game. Again, this is not a timed game, it's all based off of how many players are left, and if you are the last player standing, then you win the game. Alright, and now we're down to just 2 opposing players left. The circle is even smaller than it was before, so there's a very limited amount of space that they have to be hiding in, and in 30 seconds or so, it'll shrink even more to the smaller white circle you see here, so their space again will be even more limited. You can also hear some shooting off in the distance. It sounds like those other 2 players are fighting. In fact, one did just get eliminated. So we can head over in this direction and engage this last player. We're going to make sure that we have full health before we do that. This late in the game, you don't want to go into a battle without full health if you can absolutely help it. There they are. You can just barely see them. There they are, right there. There you go. That's how you win a game in Fortnite Battle Royale. So that's basically how a typical game of Fortnite Battle Royale goes. I hope this has been helpful, so let's get back to talking about what your child might be able to learn from it. So, now that you've learned what Fortnite is and have seen how it's played, let's talk about what your child might be able to learn from this game. As I mentioned before the gameplay, the very first thing I think that Fortnite can teach kids is about budgeting and saving. It's no secret that Epic Games, the company that created Fortnite, has made billions of dollars off of the sale of in-game cosmetic items. And while it might seem trivial to you for a child to purchase something that they may never be able to hold in their hands, it is nonetheless something that a lot of kids seem to be asking for these days. If you do decide to give your child an allowance for this purpose, it would be a great opportunity to teach them about budgeting their finances as they get older. The second is planning. Whether you're playing by yourself or as a member of a team, you need a plan to succeed in Fortnite just like you do in real life. While you're playing the game, you need to think about whether or not you're going to be aggressive and attack other players, what items you need to carry, or what challenges you might need to do to earn in-game rewards. As I said in the last video, just like in real life, you have to have a plan. The more you can reinforce planning skills in a way that's fun for your child, the better. Finally, if your child is playing the duo or squads game mode, they'll learn about teamwork. While the solo game mode doesn't really have much of a teamwork aspect for obvious reasons, the duo and squad game modes require an immense amount of teamwork to win the game. You'll have to collaborate on which items each member of the team is carrying. Will you perhaps make one player a healer for the entire team? Will each member of the team carry healing items so that they can all heal themselves should they take damage? Where on the map should your team land, and what route should you take to the safe zone? These are things that you need to decide together as a team, and this is very easily translatable to real life. And again, as I said in the last video, always try to remember that online games can't be paused or stopped as easily as offline games can. Also, again, since your child will be interacting with others online, it's important to monitor their conversations with others for anything that might seem suspicious, because again, players of all ages do play this game. I hope this video has been helpful and has taught you something that you might not have already known about Fortnite. Take some time to look into some other benefits that this game might provide your child, or a way that you can frame some benefits that I might not have mentioned here to help your child progress and learn while they're at home. As always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us here on Facebook at GTCParks. In the meantime, I'll be back with another video tomorrow. Have a great day.